Never stray from the path. Hey guys, so as you can see down below, this is going to be an interesting story. This all started during a school trip. This was a brand new school because I actually transferred for like just a semester and I ended up going back to my old school. It was a long story. Anyway, at this brand new school, we had a field trip and I was like really excited, and it was to a corn maze. Supposedly gonna be really fun, and just, I don't even know why we went to a corn maze. Like, there's no actual educational purpose of why we would, I don't know, whatever. At this brand new school, I had one person that I knew from my old school because she ended up transferring the same time I transferred. You guys know who it was? For those of you who've seen my kicked her in the face story, it was Lorraine. Yup, she was my supposed best buddy because that was the only person I knew at this school. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen that kicked her in the face story, I'll leave a link down below. So yeah, I mean, during that semester, me and Lorraine were pretty close. Obviously, this was before I kicked her in the face. So the time came where we headed out onto the bus and went to the cornfield. I actually forgot where this was. This memory is kind of a blur because of all the panic I had at the time. But yeah, we went onto the bus, we went to the corn maze, we were there, and so my teacher gave us a map of the corn maze, and we had kind of like the buddy system thing. So we got one person partnered up and headed out and said, okay, we'll all meet at the end of the corn maze by 1 or like 12:30. So have fun, go on, have a fun adventure. We did, so of course my partner was Lorraine, because remember, we were buddies. So we headed out and I was holding the map. She was just walking around. She was like not even bothering with the map. She just like headed out and like okay, like let's go this way, let's go that way. I'm like, all right. I was just like trying to hold the map. I was like trying to hold the map here. I'm like, yeah, like sure, let's go this way. Okay, like she was just like, forget the map, like let's just head out. She, in the middle of the corn maze, was like, hey, like let's go off the pathway. I'm like, in my head, I was thinking, I don't want to. And I reluctantly went ahead, but I could not help but in the back of my head, I kept thinking of one of the movies. I hate this movie. You guys know the movie Signs? If you guys know Signs, you're gonna know exactly what scene I am referring to, or what you and I both know exactly what scene I'm referring to in that movie. In that movie, oh my god, it was in the middle of the night, in the movie. Okay, for you guys who don't know the movie, let me map out what happens in that scene. The main character, in the middle of the night, he hears like this ruckus, and like they're on like this farm with like cornfields in the background, and in the backyard I should say, and he hears like this ruckus in the barn. He looks up, he goes outside with his flashlight, he looks up and he kind of sees like the silhouette of something. You know it's an alien. Ugh, I don't like aliens. I get the shivers just thinking about it. Bleh. But yeah, he sees it and it like jumps off or what, or like, you know, scurries away, and he's like, what the heck? He goes out like an idiot in the middle of the freaking cornfields with his little flashlight, and he like turns around and like you see like here's a corn stalk, like the back end of like an alien's foot scurry by, and that's when this moron freaks out and runs back into the house to safety. Oh, that's the first thing I kept thinking of. I'm like, okay, I'm just like, please, let's just get to the end so I'm not in the middle of the freaking cornfields like when it starts to get a little dark, even though I know we're not going to be here when they're dark. But my mind was just, my imagination was going crazy. I'm just like, bleh. Let's just go. Like, I'm not alone either, so I'm with Lorraine, so not that she could protect me or anything, but at least I could probably push her to the aliens if any aliens try to get me and be like, take her, not me, and run away. Oh, I'm such a good friend. So we strayed off the path, and I mean, granted, it's not like, you know, pushing yourself way through corn stalks, but it's still somewhat of a pathway. Not a nice mapped out one with like little barriers, but you know, we're able to kind of mingle away our way away. And it got to the point where she's like, okay, let's try to find our way back onto the path because I don't know where we're at. I'm like, well, neither do I. I'm like, what were you expecting when we strayed off the pathway? Like, and I don't know if she was expecting to like reach the outskirts of the maze, like within the perimeter of like 10 minutes or what, but I think she was kind of like, oh, this wasn't a good idea, so let's go back. I'm like, haha, that's funny because I don't know how to go back. Oh my god, yeah, I had a slight moment of panic. I looked at my map again. I'm like, oh my god, I don't even know where we're at. This is useless. I'm like, let's just go one direction and just keep walking. If we keep going in one direction, we're eventually going to reach the outskirts of like the maze. We have to. It's logically you have to reach the outskirts. So she agreed. So we kept going in a straight line. I'm like, oh my god, it seemed like it was forever. Like my legs were on fire. I was just like, oh my god, I'm so tired. Like, let's reach the end like now. Well, we reached the end. And you know what there was at the end? Complete open prairie land. No houses, no other barns nearby, no other fields. It was just open land to my left and to my right. I seriously felt like we just were transported into like freaking another dimension where it was just nowhere, like in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing, there's no civilization. I felt more safe in the cornfield. I didn't know what to do. I start to freak out. I'm just like, where the hell are we? The only thing I can think of is like, since we're on the outskirts, like, let's go around, like let's walk around the maze. And eventually we're gonna have to find the starting point of the maze. As we walk around, we're gonna find it. So we start walking some more along the rim of the corn maze. And I'm just, my legs are killing me. Like, at the time it was cold, like it was the middle of, I think, October at the time. So, and I just took off my sweater and like tied it around my waist. I'm just like, I'm burning up. Like, I don't know what time it is. I'm tired. Like, let's just keep going. I remember we reached somewhat of like civilization. Like, it was just open land until I'm like, what is that? I'm like, oh my god, there's a pond here and a tree. And I'm like, I look up at the tree and there was like a tree house, and I'm thinking, there's no actual house nearby. Like, why is there a tree house in the middle of nowhere? I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if there's supplies in there. But in my head, I'm thinking like survival. I wonder if there's supplies up there. Let's climb up the tree and see if we can scavenge some supplies. I'm like, at least we have somewhat of a home if we become homeless people and hermits because if no one finds us. Yeah, I have an overactive imagination. Have you noticed? So yeah, that's what was going through my head. I'm like, at least we have and I was like trying to joke and lighten the mood. I'm like, at least we have somewhere to go if like we get stranded and no one ever finds us ever again. And she kind of laughed and was like, yeah, let's just keep going. I'm like, all right, fine. So we kept going, and finally we reached the destination. I remember how happy I was when I turned the corner and here's all the corn stalks, and I'm like, I see, like right here, I see the end of the bus. I'm like, yes, thank you, we made it. Oh my god, we got into so much trouble. Because as soon as we turned around and they saw us like in the far distance coming out, walking around from the corn maze, so many people ran up to us. All of our classmates was like, where were you guys? Like, we were like, everyone was looking for you. Like, we didn't even like go. I think we were supposed to like have somewhat of a picnic at the end of the corn maze or something. They're like, we didn't even like eat anything. We just went and everyone was searching for you. I'm like, oh we are in so much trouble. If everyone was like, there was a search party for us. Oh man, I kind of lucked out because our teacher was new to teaching. Like, this was the first class he's ever taught, so he kind of was a little lenient with us. He's like, all he asked was, where were you guys? And I'm like, I'm sorry, we got lost. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Lorraine, like, she was a mastermind of mine. She was like saying like, oh, like one of the barriers was like open and we went that way because we thought it was a pathway or something. I forgot what exactly happened. It's all a blur. I'm sorry. All our classmates were kind of happy because by the time we got back to school, we like barely walked in the classroom and the bell rang to go home because we wasted the entire day. Everyone wasted the day just looking for us. We just barely got back to class, to civilization, and we went home. Oh my god, that was interesting. I was not happy. I don't like corn mazes. Yep, that was my time. I got lost in a corn maze. Oh my god. Just don't ever stray from the path, you guys. If you're in any type of maze, like, that's just not a good idea. That was just stupid. What was I thinking? Fucking Lorraine. Anyways, so, yep. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. If you guys got somewhat of a laugh out of it, like the video down below. Please comment down below and please subscribe and hit that subscribe button. Please, 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 please. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!